Chuck with McGee Company, and today I will be going over a proper tire repair using the Rubber Manufacturer Association's guidelines. Assisting me will be Joe. Good morning. He's been with McGee Company for a very long time, and he will be helping me through this process. What I'm going to show you now is we're going to be using this tire spreader. And this tire spreader is a very good tire spreader. It's going to hold the tire in place. It's got a locking mechanism on there so the tire does not pop out on you. It's got rollers on there so you can find out where your actual injury is, rolling around there without straining yourself. You're going to hook up your clamp on there. Get your other clamp on there, pull it in. Here's your locking mechanism. This is going to keep the tire from popping at you. This does also rotate back and forth. The first tool that we're going to be using is a scraper. We're going to be using this to scrape the inside of the tire. The second tool that we're going to be using is our low-speed buffer. It needs to be a low-speed buffer, not a high-speed buffer. And with this, we're going to be using the buffer wheel. Make sure your low-speed buffer does come with a quick chuck. Makes it a lot easier to use and faster when you're doing the tire repair. It just pops right on. As you can see, this buffer wheel has been used probably close to 100 times. Looks like it's brand new. The reason being is we've scraped our tire before actually using that. We're going to be using a burr, another install really quick. Pops right on and off. Next tool we're going to be using, it's just like a little broom, just a little wire brush that's going to brush all the contaminants away from the actual injury of the tire. We're going to be using a spiral tool to insert the vulcanizing cement in the center of the tire. We're going to be using a stitcher. With this here, we're going to stitch the patch onto the tire from the inside out. Crayon to mark the tire, mark the injury of it. Knife to cut the actual stem off when we're done doing the repair. And one of the most important things is safety glasses when we are using our buffing wheel so we don't get nothing in our eyes. These are the products that we're going to be using to do this tire repair. The products are from Jet. We're going to be using a stem repair unit that has the gum on the stem and gum on the actual patch. We're going to be using the rubber aerosol cleaner. They also have this in a liquid. We like to use a spray. The liquid seems to be a little wasteful. Also a inner liner repair sealant. This is going to help repair the actual tire when we're done putting the patch on there. And we're going to actually use the vulcanizing cement to vulcanize the patch. Okay, Joe, what we're going to do first here is we're going to inspect the tire. And what are we looking for when we're inspecting the tire, Joe?
Well, we first have to find where the injury is at. So we take our chalk and we mark it.
We're going to go ahead and mark the inside of the tire and the outside of the tire. And you'll be able to see that when we move closer where it's marked. What else are we going to be inspecting for?
And we have to inspect for basically the complete tire to make sure it's a safe tire to be on the vehicle, on the roadway. So what we have to look for is any kind of fracture in the bead area, any kind of breakdown in that. We're going to be looking for tire tread depth, because that's an indicator of worn out tire. We're going to have to keep track of that. So we check the tire completely to make sure that it's a feasible unit to be on the road.
On this particular inspection here, if you have a tire patch on the inside of the tire, you need to mark an X starting where that patch is at. So say our patch is here on the inside of the tire, you're going to mark your X. So you cannot have another tire patch in the same section. Okay? So whether you're marking it here or here, you can't put another one here. It's got to be an X. So you can only have 4 patches per tire. So make sure you verify that. Obviously this one has a ton of them in there because we've been doing training with it, but only 4 patches per tire. On the inside of the tire, you want to mark it where the injury is at. We've obviously pre-drilled this hole to go through this process with you. Put your patch up there and mark the tire where you need. Put your little X on there. And then we're also going to move to the other side of the tire here, and we're going to mark the back side of the tire. You're going to mark it with an X. And the reason being is you might have, somebody else might have previously patched this tire. And you don't want to drill through another patch. Second step we're going to do is we're going to pre-clean the tire. We're going to get, what is that called, Joe, to get off on this tire?
Mold release compound.
Mold release compound. We're going to be using our scraper, and we're going to be using rubber cleaner aerosol from Jet. We're going to do this 2 to 3 times. As you can feel the tire, you can feel the inner liner on there.
Mold release.
The mold release. We're going to be scraping that off. Spray the chemical on there pretty good. Set the chemical in there, and be forceful when you're scraping. You can see the mold release coming off. We're going to do that, thank you sir. We're going to be doing that 2 to 3 times to get all that off. You don't have to spray as much chemical on there the second time. You do not want to let it absorb inside after you're scraping off the mold release. Again, you got a lot less off on there. So we're going to do it one more time. Shouldn't get that much off of it. Very little. Okay, our next up we will be doing is buffing and cutting the tire. We've already inspected the tire, pre-cleaned it. Next step is buffing and cutting. This is where the safety glasses come in. We're going to be using a low-speed buffer with a quick disconnect. Makes it easy to do the process here. Object here is to buff a nice section out for your patch. You're going to go a little bit over, just don't go too much. So get a nice good buff. Okay, after we buff it, this is about what it should look like. Lightly buffed, no cords coming out. The lines of the tires buffed, and the patch fitting right on there. Our interlineal seal will take care of the rest. So, we just buffed it. We want to grab our burr now. Again, like I said earlier, there's different sizes of burrs depending on the different size of patch you're installing. You want to go 3 times on the inside, 3 times on the outside. Three times on the inside, 3 times on the outside. This is why you have your chalk mark over here. Now we're going to post clean it. This is where our little broom is coming in. We're going to sweep it down. You can use a vacuum to vacuum the stuff out. Do not use air to blow it around. Next thing is we're going to do the actual install. We will be using jet cement vulcanizing. We're going to be using our spiral tool. Open your lid, set it to the side, stick your spiral tool in there, put it into the injury and turn it clockwise. Get your vulcanizing cement. On this particular one, it's not to be generous with the chemicals. Put as less as you can on there. Get the glue, let some of it run down. Use as less glue as you possibly can. The more glue you have on there, the faster it's going to, the longer it's going to take to dry. So get it all moved around on there, nice and good. Set your glue on the inside. With the install, we're going to be using a 1/4 inch patch with wire insert. You're going to grab this and hold it with your fingers just like that. You're going to twist it. And you're going to have gum on your stem. It's good to have gum on the stem because it's going to fill the injury of the tire. Squeeze the patch together, pull it off, stick it on there. That's your place that you're going to grab. Fold it again, pull it. What you're going to do next is you're going to put a little bit of the cement on the actual end of the stem. And this is going to help it get through the hole. Do not want to touch any of the gum or any of the patch anymore. As you can see, the glue has dried. Not set up, but dried. You're going to try to do this in a single pull motion. Do not want to stop. Put it through there. Don't really need to push. Want to pull through. Make sure there's a little indentation with your finger. So what we're going to do next is we're going to use the stitcher and we're going to stitch this patch. You're going to start from the inside of the patch and work your way out. Work your way over. You start from the inside out, work your way over. Start from the inside, work your way over. The inside, work your way over. And then just work it. After you get done stitching it, you're going to pull your plastic piece off. Use one of your little screwdrivers. And as you can see, all the edges are on there. Looks good. Next thing we're going to use is we're going to use inner liner repair sealant. This is going to repair the inner liner seal of the tire. You want to shake it up, and all of the part here that you've buffed, that you didn't have to buff, but you buffed, you want to put that over it, as well as the outside of the patch. Could be generous with it, however you want to do it, just as long as everything's covered. I like to start from the inside and work my way out. Doesn't matter if it runs. You do not need to wait for the inner liner seal to dry. You're ready to mount this tire and get the customer on their way. You do need to cut off the end of the wire. Okay, the last step is to finish it off. You're not going to pull the end of the wire insert. You're just going to hold it, stabilize it, and you're going to use the knife. One swipe going across. Make sure everybody's out of the way so you're not cutting anybody. It's fine if it has a little bit of a nipple. It will wear itself off. By pulling it, you're going to be messing up the way the patch is setting up on the inside. So just a quick review, we've inspected the tire, we've pre-cleaned it, we've buffed and cut it, we post-cleaned it, we installed it and finished it. This is the proper way from the Rubber Manufacturer Associations to do a tire repair. Here at McGee Company, we also offer training on this at no charge. From 1 to as many employees as you have. We do offer certifications of completion of the course. That's as each employee goes through and completes one tire repair correctly on the tire.